So over the last two videos, we've talked about some of the red flags for dating and then some of the green flags for dating. How to know if you're finding the right person for a relationship. And that's good. That's so good. But it's not the full picture. In fact, we kind of need to zoom out and realize that if we don't get the whole purpose of dating right, we will inevitably experience heartbreak in dating. So today we are discussing why we date, what the purpose of it is, and if we don't stick with that purpose, how things can go a little wrong. All that and more today in the video. Hey guys, I am Reese Maxwell from Thriving Man Life Coaching, and today we are discussing the purpose of dating. The truth is, and I know it sounds obvious, but we've got to get this right if we're going to get dating right. The purpose of dating is to see if they're the person that you want to marry. That's all it is. Dating is a means to an end. It is a part of a journey with a goal in mind. It's not an end in and of itself. If we miss that, some different problems can crop up in our life. Problem number one is we end up in this weird, eternally casual dating space. And dating is a good means to an end, but it's a pretty crappy hobby. Why? Because if it's just a hobby, it ends in heartbreak. The truth is if you're just entering a relationship, you get excited, you have that, you get used to it, then you break up, and then you're sad. Why would you want to have a hobby that makes you miserable? Nobody wants that. So it doesn't make a great hobby because it ends in heartbreak. It's temporary. I remember in high school, this was especially a big thing. Students were bored. I mean, we were all just doing our thing. And so if you didn't have a bunch of sports to keep you occupied or a bunch of activities or church involvement, you just dated people just because. Like you just did it. And I saw people around me dating all the time, and they'd end up with this guy and they're like, he's the one. And then they'll go through the phase and then the guy will break up with them and then they'll be like, I hate everything. And it happens the same thing for us as guys. We'll meet the right girl and we're like, oh yeah, this is it. This is everything. And you're like, this is never going to end. This is going to be the best thing ever. Even though it ended with 4 other girls before her. But we convince ourselves this time it's different. It's not. And then we're back where we started. That's the cycle of casual dating. It ends in heartbreak and it's temporary. Because it's temporary, you're not going to get that same level of satisfaction in the relationship. If dating doesn't have a purpose, if it's not going somewhere, then truthfully, you're going to always hold a piece of yourself back. The point of marriage is that nothing is held back. You want to get to a place where you guys know everything about each other and are on the same team no matter what. But if you're just dating, you don't have those same stakes in mind. So you're going to keep a little bit of yourself back. And that's going to keep you from experiencing emotional intimacy, being able to really know each other. And if you're always holding something back, then you're not actually getting to enjoy the full experience. If dating is not going towards marriage, it just stays in this casual cycle of heartbreak and temporariness. The second pitfall, the second problem that we run into is you end up dating girls to impress other guys, which is weird. It's the whole definition of arm candy. You want a pretty girl just to show everybody like, yeah, I can do this. And it's kind of dumb because like one, you're dating the girl, not for the girl, but for other guys, which is kind of weird in and of itself. But then two, it usually doesn't end up impressing other people like you want it to. Let's take the famous coach, Bill Belichick, one of the best coaches in all of history, amazing record. He's in his 70s now. He has retired from the game and he's dating a girl in her early 20s. We're not impressed. We kind of feel bad for him, right? I mean, you get to the point to where it's like, oh yeah, I got a girl in her 20s and I'm in my 70s. Like it's just kind of people laugh at him. Like they had a roast session and they roasted him because they were like, oh, we saw you were going to this high school and we thought it was to help out the student athletes, but you were just going to find your future girlfriend. And everyone laughed. It's even though in theory it should be impressive, in practicality it's not. So it's not a good cycle. It's not a good idea to date a girl for other people to be impressed with you. Problem number 3, if you only ever do casual dating, if you never actually have the goal of going towards marriage, you end up getting stuck. The truth is when you get in a relationship, you put your heart on the line. And if you get hurt, there's a temptation to say, oh, well, I'm never going to actually date someone with intention to marry again, so I won't get hurt. And maybe that person did you wrong. Maybe that girl was messed up. But that doesn't mean that you should give up. That doesn't mean it's over for you. In fact, if you're willing to move forward and date with purpose, it might actually be a growing opportunity. Maybe you can look back on the relationship and say, okay, how did I contribute to the breakup? Or, oh, I think I have a problem with picking the wrong kind of girl every time. Maybe that's a me issue. What's going on here? It can end up being a catalyst for your growth, even though it's not easy. It's not comfortable. I'm not saying it is. But if you're willing to date with purpose, if you're saying, I'm trying to get to know a girl so that I can see if I can marry them, well, then you can begin to grow even when the dating relationship doesn't turn out the way that you would prefer for it to. The truth is, casual dating will not push you to grow. Dating just to have something to do isn't going to force you to move to the next level as a man, as a person. So, dating with purpose in mind is vital. Even if you've got the right person in the picture, if you don't keep this stuff in mind, you're not going to experience the fullness of relationship that you could. I hope this helped you today. Share it with somebody you know who maybe is either stuck in this phase or is looking at the dating world. This is a pitfall that they want to avoid. This is something they want to keep in mind, is the purpose of dating. So share that with them. And if you want more resources to help you succeed in the areas that matter the most, go to thrivingman.com. We've made plenty of stuff and we hope it helps you. I'll see you in the next video.